What's up, guys? So, yeah, we're in a little bit of a different setting today. I know I usually record these in my car and stuff, but the times that I usually record these videos, it's like at 6, 7, 8 p.m.-ish. And now that the sun goes down at like basically 5, it's too dark. It's impossible. So I gotta find a new time. And right now we're doing it in the comforts of my own kitchen. So, as I kind of mentioned in the last video, this month was purely horror. Purely horror. Besides 2 exceptions, which I will get into. So with that being said, welcome to the October film rankings. You already know the deal. We're gonna yap about it. We're gonna talk about it. And let's get into it. So October 3rd, we started off with... It was alright. You know, it wasn't a banger for me, but it was alright. October 3rd, we watched The Exorcist. This guy. So the thing about The Exorcist with me is, you know, growing up, I heard a lot about The Exorcist, especially in Spanish. So it was La Exorcista. You know, I heard about it a lot growing up, and just the way it was talked about, the way, like, the aura around it, you know, it was spoken like it was like some Ouija board shit, you know, like it was like the most cursed thing on the planet. And then flash forward to basically like the early YouTube days, really early Facebook meme days, those kind of days. You would see a lot of possessed Reagan memes. Like you'd see her a lot. You'd see her pop up in jump scare videos. So basically what I'm trying to say here is The Exorcist, going into it, I don't think it would have ever lived up to any expectation I had for it. Because in my head, it was probably the most terrifying film of all time. And it just, you know, I'm sad to say this, but it just, you know... It just didn't live up to that. It just didn't live up to that. Just right off the beginning, this movie really threw me off because I didn't expect it to start off like that. Like in this kind of mining situation, deserty situation. So yeah, it threw me off right off the bat. I'm like, is this the right movie? It was, but I was like, what is this? But you know, The Exorcist, it's just like, I don't know. My overall thoughts on it was just a little underwhelming to me. And once again, this isn't its fault. It has nothing to do with the movie itself. It's more about me and the high expectations that I had for it. Like it was just never gonna live up to it. It just wasn't gonna happen. And to be fair, you know, I don't want to disrespect The Exorcist because, you know, I know about it and I know how influential it's been, how much of a trailblazer it was for the horror genre. I know when it released, there was nothing like this that had ever been done before. And I was also watching some behind the scenes work and some of the things they had to go to film certain things. And I was like, whoa, you know, like how they had to have this room at like damn near freezing temperatures and they could only shoot like 5 minutes at a time or something. Like a lot went into it and I appreciate it and I'm very respectful of that. But it was just really underwhelming to me, and it just, you know, it didn't really scare me. I don't know. It didn't really scare me. You know, it did give me the chills. It did make me uncomfortable because no matter what, a film with a demonic entity and visuals like that will indeed get to me. But like, it didn't strike my heart the way I thought it would. I will say this though, as a film, I think it is really good. It's a kind of a slow burn, kind of. All the characters in the movie, they're really fleshed out, and they each kind of have their own arc going into the final exorcism. Speaking about the exorcism, I really like the little exorcism lore they got going on in the movie, where the priest, he's like, an exorcism hasn't been done for like years, you know, and he was like, it's impossible, no one knows how to do it. I kind of like that aspect of it. I love lore, I love history. So I did like it, you know, as a film and everything, but like me expecting it to be the scariest thing in the world, it kind of failed to do that, and it you know, it is what it is. But yeah, with all that being said, The Exorcist, it was cool. It was a nice little watch to start off the month. I wouldn't say it was a banger though, but yeah, it was cool. It was a cool little watch. I gave it 3.5 stars. I did not give it a heart. And I'm gonna put it up in the B tier. I'm sorry, but yeah, B tier. Ugh. Oh yeah, also all of these are first time watches. All these are spooky movies I've seen for the first time, just so you know. But for the first time, we watched The Blair Witch Project, October 5th. The Blair Witch Project. Now, this one's really similar to my feelings with The Exorcist. Growing up, I heard a lot about this Blair Witch Project, how it was this kind of real story, how no one knew if it was real, that it was not real, but it was leaning more towards being real. At least how people perceived it when I was growing up in the early 2000s. So yeah, that movie, once again, kind of like to The Exorcist, it seemed cursed to me. I didn't want to watch it. It seemed terrifying to me. I stayed away from it my whole life until, well, this year. And I was like, wow, so that's what the Blair Witch Project was. The Blair Witch Project, it started off really strong. I was really vibing with it. I liked the whole documentary aspect to it, the way it was shot. I thought it was really funny too at times. It's low-key a horror comedy if you ask me. I enjoyed like the slow little build-up with like the nights continuously getting worse and the crew losing their minds and kind of turning on to each other. But like the thing is, like I feel like it kind of stalemated to me at some point. Like it, like this. Okay, so this is when it started off. It started off like boom, boom, boom. It's a boom, 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 and then it just kind of stalemates. It kind of stayed the same, like probably around the middle of the movie. So it started off really strong, and then it stalemated, and then that's it. At least that's how it was for me. Because the thing is, this movie, I didn't like the ending. The ending would have made it or not made it for me, and it clearly didn't make it because I feel like I got blue balled essentially. I just like, I don't know, I wasn't vibing with the ending because after it was over, I'm like, that was it? That's it? I was uncomfortable watching it and stuff, but like I never really got like scared. I don't know. Like once again, I expected probably too much out of this. But yeah, that ending, it just I didn't like the ending. I was like, what is this? A lot of people say, oh, this ending is so good. And I guess that's the thing about it. It really is up for viewer interpretation. So the way I'm interpreting it, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like this dude's in a corner and then she gets clapped out of nowhere and then it just ends. You know, I guess you assume that the witch got him and, you know, there's a whole little belief around it. But like, I'm just not feeling it, brother. I'm just not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it.
And speaking about this witch, I would have liked to see a glimpse of this witch. We don't see the witch once at all in this film. You kind of have to use your imagination. You know, you hear it, it's implied that she's there, but you never see a witch. And I think it would have been nice if maybe for a split second you maybe see this witch the way that the locals described it. You know, this, I forgot what they described it as, like a hairy beast or something like that. I don't remember. I watched a lot of movies this month, but yet once again, that's also something people like, the fact that you never see this witch. So like, it's really 50-50, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I don't know. The Blair Witch, once again, it was kind of underwhelming, I fear. Once again, similar to The Exorcist, I know this is also like a trailblazer for this specific genre of horror. I think it's lost footage horror, or fuck, what's it called? I actually have my laptop here, so oh, found footage. Yeah, found footage. Yeah, so the Blair Witch Project, found footage, kind of a trailblazer for that specific genre. And even just the way it was promoted, a lot of people back then, 1999, no social media or anything, so they could really get away with promoting it as this real life story, and these people really got lost. So I know when it released, people were like, whoa, this shit is real, and that probably added to why it's so highly acclaimed. But it's big 2024, right? I know this isn't real. I found out this wasn't real like 6 years ago. But yeah, with that being said, we get the Blair Witch Project 3 stars. Once again, it was just odd. It was a cool little watch. And I'm gonna have to put this one in the C tier, man. This was just kind of it was alright. It was alright. Alright, now that I'm done disrespecting your guys' favorite horrors of all time, October 8th, we watched The Poltergeist. Going into The Poltergeist, I was actually really genuinely afraid of watching this, but then I was surprised that this is a really family-friendly horror. It's rated PG, but even then, there are some parts where it's really questionable as to how this is PG. I'm talking about that face peeling off scene. Like, I was like, how is this PG? This is PG? Despite being what I just labeled it as a family-friendly PG, it's actually really unsettling, and it does make me very uncomfortable at various times. It's really well done, but it does have this kind of old school magic to it. It has this old school magic feeling to it. The best way I could compare it is to like Jurassic Park, E.T. It has that kind of feeling, but once again, I think this is maybe because it's directed by Steven Spielberg, or no, it's produced by him. And he had things to do with those projects as well. So that makes sense. But it has this really, I don't know what vibe it is, but it has that vibe. And I like that vibe because it's really cozy to me. I think the Poltergeist, besides the CGI effects, has aged really well. CGI effects have not aged that well. They're really, really early on, really rough. But besides that, everything's aged really well. The story, the acting, everything about it has aged really well. I now finally understand where this whole Caroline thing is from, because there's this Kid Cudi song I really like where he's like, to the light, I'm Caroline. And I'm like, oh, that's where that's from. It's just, or the They're Here thing. That shit's so creepy. Oh my god, little kids, bro, and like TVs and shit, TV statics. I was terrified of it, because you will find out that We'll talk about The Ring later, but I'm basically, for my whole life, I've basically been really scared of TV static and shit of that nature. So watching this, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, this was a really good story. I like the story. The parents were kind of annoying though. The mom the most annoyed me. Like, how are you gonna play with your child like this? Like, she was willingly letting the ghost play with her back and forth. I don't know how they would be this cool with this weird shit happening, you know? She thought it was this like scientific revolution. I mean, maybe if you see it that way, but me, no! I'm not playing around with this shit. The plot twist was really good, where you find out that everybody's still buried under that plot of land. Like, wow, it all makes sense now. The medium speech was crazy to me. That's when this movie really kind of like spooked me out. The way the medium spoke about this. Oh my god, I hate saying it. I'm alone in my kitchen right now. This entity, she was like, yeah, he's I forgot what she said, but the way she talked about it, I was like, oh, chills.
Chills. This is how real it is to The Rock.
It gave me real chills. And also, watching this, I finally understand some of the references in the scary movie films. Watching so many horror films this month, I've learned where the scary movie got all these references from, like the clown thing. When I saw the clown, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is where they got that from. I need to speak about this dolly zoom. That dolly zoom was so far in the hallway towards the end of the movie. That was so good. I love that shot. But yeah, family friendly horror, but that doesn't mean it's not scary or that it's not unsettling. It was really good, really well done, and I liked it. I really liked the Poltergeist. So with that being said, I gave the Poltergeist 4 stars. I gave it a heart. We're putting it in the 8 tier. This is a classic, man. This is a classic. We'll briefly talk about this. October 9th, I was forced to watch this documentary on Gary Winogrand, a photography documentary. I had to watch it for my digital arts class, and it was an hour and 30 minutes. I had to log it. It was on Letterboxd, right? It hurt my feelings logging it because it really ruined my whole feed, but I watched it. I'm upset that I had to watch it. It was for an assignment, but I did like the fact that I learned more about photography and what goes on in the mind of photographers, such as Gary Winogrand, who has some good photos, but he has a little bit of questionable history, all right? I'm talking about that, what was it? He was like 23 talking to like a 16-year-old or something like that. It was weird. That part I was like, whoa, pause, buddy. But yeah, I watched that, so I'm not gonna rank that or anything. I didn't rank it. I didn't give it a heart or anything. I just watched it for this assignment, but that happened October 9th. All right, October 11th, we got back on the spooky train. October 11th, we watched Terrifier. Terrifier. This month was really, for me, this month was really based around Terrifier and Smile. That's what really ruled this month for me. And it all started here, October 11th. The hype to Terrifier 3 was getting to me. I told myself I wasn't going to watch it because I didn't even really know about Art the Clown. I've just kind of seen his face before, but I didn't know, I didn't know his whole lore and everything. I didn't know that it was like a short film, and then it became a feature-length film in 2016. I didn't know about all this stuff, you know, but yeah, I watched Terrifier because my friend recommended it to me. She was like, yeah, you should watch it, because I told her I was interested in Terrifier 3, and she's watched all of them, so she recommended it. So yeah, checked it out. And man, Terrifier did not disappoint, man. I love Terrifier. It was, I loved like the beginning to it. Right off the beginning, I knew I was gonna like it because it felt kind of a Nightmare on Elm Street-y to me, kind of Freddy Krueger, the way he's like suiting up, putting on his makeup and everything. It reminds me of Freddy Krueger. And then I've come to found that the director, and I think the actor who plays Art the Clown too, I think they're both really big fans of Freddy. So I really see a lot of that in their work, and I love that. But yeah, dude, basically, I was unfamiliar with Art's game, bro. Like Terrifier, yeah, you know, it's really low budgety and everything, but like I don't really care. Like I really liked it. I liked the story. The kills, I love the kills. I was unfamiliar with, I didn't know they were gonna be this graphic, this gruesome. This movie, it gave me really like classic 80s slasher vibes, you know what I mean? And I feel this is good, bro. This is good for the horror business. This is good for just film in general. Like I don't feel like we've had like a genuine slasher like horror icon like this since like we know like 80s and 90s, you know. We've been kind of living on Chucky and Scream and, you know, Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael Myers and all those fools, but like there's never been like a new one, you know, a new guy to like pop up, you know. And I feel like we finally got that with Art the Clown, and I love it because I also feel like he would blend in perfectly with those guys in that era, you know, like he doesn't seem out of place or anything. I loved how kind of campy it felt. I loved how practical it was. The practical effects were amazing. Damien Leone, this is his specialty, bro. He be cooking with these special effects. The movie though, I feel like although it's really short, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, I feel like it kind of starts dragging after Tara dies. And that's unfortunate too, because I didn't want her to die. I was really rocking with her. She reminded me of is it Sidney Prescott from Scream 1? She reminded me of that character. So you know, that's what I mean. Like these people, like it feels really genuine to me. Like they're really fans of horrors, and you see it in the work, and I love it. And then Art, dude, Art he's such a fucking troll, dude. He's like this silly little guy. I mean, yeah, he's like a maniac and everything, but like he's so silly. He's such a fucking troll. The scene where he's like just randomly he pulls up on a little bicycle and shit. Like who is this guy? But Terrifier, it did not disappoint. It was really fun. I loved it. Like I'm telling you, it feels really classic horror slasher genre to me, and I absolutely love that. We need that. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I gave it a heart. Terrifier 1 goes up in the A tier. October 12th, for the first time, we watched Sinister. Now, a little background on this day. This day was insane because I was like, what spooky movie should I watch today? I knew I was going to watch Sinister at some point. I just didn't know when. I looked it up, right? It turns out this film released October 12th, 2012. And the day I watched it was October 12th. I was like, bro, like, this is a sign. So I decided to watch it, and I think this was definitely my favorite horror of the month. It was insane. It was insane. It was just so like, it just gave me chills. It just gave me chills. I was completely unsettled the whole time, completely uncomfortable. I love how immersive it was. Like the sound design, the sound, whoever engineered this shit, you did good. The kind of tracks it has, it gives me like these Silent Hill vibes, really eerie and just like nightmare-ish. I don't know, but like it was just so good. There's this one scene, I don't remember what scene it was, but like it just my whole body, it just completely gave me goosebumps. Like oh dude, that's like never happened to me. I was like, holy shit. The story itself is also really good. Like you got Ellison, who wants to release like a new banger of a book, but he's kind of like struggling with this why he's doing it. And he's watching these old interviews of himself, and he's like, yeah, you know, I do this for the victims, you know, so they could get some justice. But then present day, he's not doing it for the victims at all. He's doing it for himself. You know, he's talking to his wife. He's like, we could get interviews. We could get a movie deal. We could get this. We could get that. You know, he says he's doing it for his family too, but it's clear he's not doing it for anyone but himself, for his own, you know, personal reasons. So it's kind of really interesting to see that dilemma he's going through, and just kind of how much he's changed from that first book he released, and how genuine he seemed. Oh, the spooky guy in this, oh my god, I'm not even gonna say his name because I'm a little pussy, but I will say this, I was like, where's the freaking gabagool?
Oh brother, this guy stinks.
The lore behind this guy was what really got to me and really spooked the fuck out of me. Like I kind of mentioned, I'm scared of televisions, I'm scared of The Ring, and this was, it wasn't The Ring, but like it was similar in the sense that this fool fucking manipulates media and shit. And just the lore with him, like the more we learn about him with the professor from the university, like, oh my god, that shit is so scary. I love this shit. This is the type of shit that I like. Like, it's just such a good horror mystery, you know what I mean? You know, going through the tapes and then dissecting them, doing all this investigation, and then everything just keeps building up. It's just, it's so unsettling. It's so sinister. And then also that plot twist where it turns out that once you move out, that's when you get got. That was wow. I didn't expect that. I expected something to happen because I'm like, there's no way it just ends like this. And then yeah, it turns out once you leave, that's when you get clapped. I was like, wow. The only part I didn't like was the whole kind of little kid aspect of it. I just wasn't feeling that, you know what I mean? Seeing the kids doing the deed, you know, and then I don't know, I guess it adds some explanation as to how it happened. I think my voice cracked. But I just wasn't feeling it, you know, I wasn't feeling these little kids doing this shit.
I'm not feeling it.
That's really the only part where I was like, you know, but aside from that, I was very scared the whole time. I was very genuinely scared. I was on edge. I was getting goosebumps. I was on edge. I love this. And I love, once again, the main spooky guy. That, we're not even saying his name. That's how scared I am. His lore is terrifying, bro. Yeah, but with that being said, Sinister, besides the little kid bullshit stuff at the end, 4.5 stars. It was damn near perfect for me. I love this. This was great. This was great. And we gave it a heart. So with that being said, Sinister's go. Oh, does this go in S tier? Fuck. I think it goes in S tier. This was an S tier horror film for me. So I'm gonna put Sinister in S tier, brothers. Continuing with the Terrifier franchise, October 15th, we watched Terrifier 2. Now, with Terrifier 2, this one's really a mixed bag for me because I had it originally, you'll find out, at 3.5 stars, but then I changed the rating after Terrifier 3. I don't know, like, okay, basically with Terrifier 2, right, I got what I came for. I came for the gore, I came for Art the Clown, and that's exactly what I got. Art the Clown carries this installment. He's better than ever. He's sinister, he's unsettling, he's a goofball, he's kind of an asshole in this one, and he's the MVP of this. He carries this film. He's amazing. In the first one, he seemed like he's killing people and shit, but in the first one, he seemed like a silly little guy to me. I don't know, he was just like a little goofball, but in this one, he actually made me really uncomfortable. I don't know what it was, but like just watching this, almost every time he was on screen, I genuinely felt really uncomfortable. And I mean, I wasn't scared, but I was very close to feeling scared. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the way the characters were reacting to him. Like they were really scared of him. And like I was just kind of putting myself in their shoes. Like what if this was me? Like I would be fucking shitting myself. This dude is insane. I also feel like this has a lot to do with the way the film was shot. Like I don't know, like it's kind of filmed like you're watching like a real person, if that makes sense, not like a movie. I don't really know if that makes sense, but it's just the way it was shot, the way the characters were reacting to him, and just the way he was. It was just the way he was presented in this one. It was just really unsettling, and it made me feel really like anxious the whole time. The kills in this one were cinema. Absolute cinema. I could argue this was the goriest film that I've ever watched. I'm not sure if it is, but like it's really up there. This was insane. Like I was watching this and I was fucking flabbergasted. I was like, holy shit. We all talk about the bedroom scene, rightfully so, because what? This dude was like snapping her arm. Like this dude be doing the most. Art the Clown, this fool's really fucking deranged. Also, one more thing about Art the Clown. In this one, he kind of reminds me of the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. I don't say this as a diss or anything, but he just kind of reminded me of that. Like if he was ripped right out of like the cartoon and he was placed in real life, I feel like this is what the Joker would look like. But besides Art the Clown and the kills, which were all amazing, all S tiers, what I really came for, everything else is just kind of, I don't know how to feel about it, because in this one, it's double the length of the first one, and you really do feel it at times. It feels kind of long in some parts, at least when I first watched it. And like this whole backstory they're trying to give him, like I don't know if I'm really feeling it. Like I kind of mentioned, the first one gave me Freddy Krueger vibes at some time, and this one is very similar. I don't remember what a Nightmare on Elm Street film it was, but it reminds me of those movies with this kind of pre-Destiny bullshit going on. I don't know, you know? I feel like it's being implied that Art the Clown might be their dad, just the way they're talking about it. And I mean, I don't know. Right now, I still don't really know how I feel about it. But when I first watched it, I was not feeling this at all. I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, so this dad, he was making his daughter like this, like, Destiny Savior Liu Kang shit, while also going insane. Is this what's going on here? I don't know. I kind of like the first one where he's just there and you don't know much about him, but I suppose you have to give him a backstory at some point. So yeah, it's really giving me like a Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, but also in that sense, that's also what I really like about this film. Once again, it feels like it's ripped out of like the 80s. This would fit perfectly in that time frame, perfectly with those other slashers. But like vibes aside and everything, this direction, I'm still not necessarily on board yet, but like it's tolerable. But yeah, with all that being said, this was not a bad installment at all. It's probably my favorite one, but you know, just with the story and the direction, I'm still unsure about it. I don't really know, but you know, I came here for the gore, I came here for the kills, I came here for Art the Clown, and that's exactly what I got. So as of right now, I have this film at 4 stars and I have it at a heart. Originally, I had it at 3.5 stars, but after Terrifier 3, I changed the rating. So, with that being said, Terrifier 2 was going in the A tier. Alright, continuing with Terrifier, October 16th, the next day, we watched Terrifier 3. The reason why I started watching the Terrifier films, the hype for this film was getting to me, and I must say I'm really happy with the way this film has turned out, the success it's achieved. all the acclaimed, all the love. I'm really happy for it, especially now that I know about the whole story with Damien Leone and Art the Clown and all of them. It makes me really happy to see this. It's a big W for the independent scene. Pretty sure it beat out Joker, right, in the box office. A 200 million budget juggernaut, you know? Like, I love this. This is great. But Terrifier 3, I felt like this was the most complete installment of the franchise so far. It is, of course, the one with the biggest budget so far and the most hype around it. But I feel like it was the most complete in terms of the story. The story in this one, I found it to be really interesting and actually like good. I was really invested into it. It has the gore, which of course that's why we come for these. That's what Terrifier is known for, the gore, the kills, and of course Art the fucking Clown, the MVP once again. It's just like the complete package to me. I say good and interesting story because in the second one, the story, you know, like I said, I'm a little bit iffy about it, you know. But in this one, it was good and interesting. I liked it. Whole kind of PTSD trauma thing that Sienna and her brother are dealing with, and the way it's all executed, and I liked it. And it takes place in Christmas time too. This is gonna be a Christmas film, bro. I don't care what you say. This is a Christmas movie. But I will say this is ironic, but the one thing that I didn't really like about it was I wanted there to be more gore. Like the part of the marketing for this, or the way people were talking about it, like, whoa, this is the goriest one yet. This is the craziest one yet. No, the second one is clearly the goriest and craziest one yet. This one is, I don't know. I feel like it's tied up with the first one in terms of how crazy it is in terms of that. But the second one takes the cake. That one runs away with everything. The craziest scene in Terrifier 3 was, you know, with the balls and the chainsaw in the shower scene. That's probably the craziest one. But yeah, I wanted it to be more like, whoa, you know, more gory, more Mortal Kombat fatality type shit. But, you know, once again, Sienna Shaw, Lauren Lavera, her best performance. Yeah, she did really good in this. Same with her brother. He really steps it up from the second film. He has a good performance in this. Fuck that bitch. I think her name was Mia. Thank God she got clapped because she was annoying the fuck out of me. Another one of my complaints for this is just I thought you'd get more kind of conclusion or more info on what's going on with Art the Clown, and you don't really get that. You know, I thought in this one they were gonna reveal that he's a dad or something like that, but nothing much really gets revealed. You don't really find out more than what you already knew. It just kind of sets it up for more sequels, which I respect because I wouldn't mind more sequels. But I don't know. I thought that'd be more of like more lore, more tea to be spilled, which I don't feel like we really got that. Also, this one really plays on your heart a little bit too. Like I was telling you, the story is really good in this one, and part of it that really got to me was with her little cousin. I forgot her name, Gabby. Ah man, I hope she's not dead, man, because fuck, I was like, bro, like this shit's crazy, bro. This shit's crazy. Terrifier 3, we gave it 3.5 stars, and we gave it a heart. I wouldn't say it's my favorite one though, but it was pretty good. I liked it. And with that being said, Terrifier 3 is going in the A tier. Continuing the spooky season, October 19th, we watched Smile. Smile was my biggest surprise of the month because I literally didn't care about it. I didn't think much of it. When it was first marketed in, 2022, I'm like, Smile? Like, Smile's supposed to scare me? It was marketed to with like people just smiling creepily at you. I'm like, what is this even about? Like, I don't know. I paid it no mind, essentially. I ignored it up until this year because the hype for Smile 2 got to me. So I'm like, okay, I gotta watch the first one. But wow, Smile, what an underrated horror. I was unfamiliar with the game. I slept on you. I am sorry. In a way, Smile gave me the Ring vibes. It felt kind of like the Ring Junior in a way to me. That's not disrespect. That's just kind of what it gave me with, the curse, passing on, dying in like 7 days, basically. Kind of losing yourself towards that day. It kind of gave me the Ring vibes a little bit. But man, this one scared the fuck out of me. I was really like anxious the whole time. My blood pressure and shit was like at 1,000,000 the whole time. I was so uncomfortable. I was so on edge. I was even kind of like hiding my face at some points because I thought I knew what the Smile monster would look like. I was wrong. I was thinking about something else. But I didn't want to see a glimpse of the Smile monster. That fool was what I thought he would look like. I didn't want to see that randomly, But yeah, this was like a really good horror with a lot of suspense, good mystery, good performances too. And it was just, everything was just executed really well. Like, it's really underrated. Smile is really underrated. It's just like, it's just shot really well, you know? And it's also really psychological, which I like, because it really fucks with you. You don't really know what's real, what isn't real. And just that smile, bro. The smile monster, this fool is real. This fool is real, and he's scary. This fool is scary. Whatever the fuck it is, the smile monster is a force to be reckoned with, all right? And yeah. But yeah, Smile, I gave it 4 stars. I was completely blown away. This was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I gave it a heart. And Smile is going up in the A tier, bro. This was a really good horror, and I highly recommend it. Carrying on to October 22nd, we watched Smile 2. Smile 2 was an amazing follow-up to the first one. It takes everything from the first movie and just makes it better. And you usually don't get that with sequels. Well, actually you do, but like, maybe not in horror sequels. It doesn't necessarily kind of expand from anything from the first one, but it just takes everything from it and just dials it up to like a million. You know, it's just a better version of the first one, basically. And the first one isn't bad. The first one's a great film. And this one is even better. So like, you know? Naomi Scott, great performance by her. One of my favorite horror performances of the year. She did really good. She did really good. And once again, this one is even more psychological than the first one. It's a lot of more mind fucks, a lot of more like, what? It's more graphic, it's more intense. It's just better, you know? And of course, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Trap. Smile 2 gave me some Trap vibes with the concert going on and everything. So shout out Trap. I just need to put that out there. And then watching this, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd survive the Smile Monster, bro. The Smile Monster would fucking clap me. Like, he'd have a field day with me. Amazing follow-up. Does everything from the first one and just makes it better. 4.5 stars. A heart. I really have no complaints. I just felt weird about giving it 5 stars. Like, when I give something 5 stars, I just know it's 5 stars. And with this one, I was questioning it. So 4.5 just seems right for me, but I really have no complaints. It's just all around a good movie, and it's a really good horror. So yeah, 4.5 stars, a heart. And oh, does this go in S tier? Huh. I don't know. I don't know where to put this. Oh shit. Fuck it. I want to put it in S tier. This was really good. I have no complaints. S tier. Unless I change my mind. October 24th, we watch Freddy vs. Jason. Now, you guys already know I had to watch a Freddy movie, or a Jason movie, but mostly Freddy. I had to watch a Freddy movie for spooky season. I felt like it was too late for me to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, because if I watched one, I would want to watch all of them. And it was just kind of too late in the month for me to do this. So I was like, what's one I haven't watched yet that I feel like watching? Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason, similarly to Exorcist and all that, I was very scared of it growing up because I was just afraid of Freddy growing up, and I didn't want to be anywhere near this. My cousins would be watching it when I'd go over to their house, and I would just stay away from the living room. I wanted nothing to do with this. But now that I'm an adult and I watched it, I must say this. By no means is Freddy vs. Jason a good movie. Take Freddy and Jason out of it, it's not a good film whatsoever. I guess you could say that about a lot of things, but like, what I mean by this is like the writing really isn't good. And I hate saying this because I don't like talking about actors like this, but at best the acting is like average, you know? It's mediocre for most of the time. It's really campy, I guess. I don't know how to say it. But, you know, being a fan of these two horror icons, like seeing them on the same screen together going at it, like it's just such a spectacle to see. And it's even more insane that this even exists. Like wow. I think this is only because, I forgot, I think New Line Cinema bought out the Jason franchise. I think that's what happened. I don't know. You can fact check me on that. That's okay. But it's just insane that these two exist in the same film. Like, who would have thought? It's like if Michael Myers and Ghostface were in the same film or something like that. That's not gonna happen probably. But like, it's just insane that this exists. Nothing like this has been done since. But it's just, what an achievement in horror. I gotta say, my favorite kill is easily the first one with like the bed going in half. I was like, oh shit. You know, I've been watching like purely Terrifier and stuff like that, so I forgot how gory and how slashery other slashers could be. But yeah, I really like this. You know, I really like Freddy in this one. He was a fun goofball, even though, you know, he's a bitch. I like Jason in this. I like their interactions, how they went at it. I know about the big complaint about Jason being afraid of water, like, since when? I don't know. I'm just going with it. It's also like, I feel like it's kind of short. It goes by really quickly. But I mean, you know, that's all right. That's all right. I gave it 3 stars. It was hard for me to give it anything higher than that. I wanted to give it like 3.5. But like I said, it's technically not really a good movie. You know, like it's hard for me to ignore that. So I gave it 3 stars. I did give it a heart. Ironically enough, I might have to put this in A tier just because like as a fan of horror, like it's really fun to watch this. So despite it being a shitty movie, I'm putting it in A tier. This shit was fun. October 25th, we watched All Hallows Eve. Like I told you, I was digging up Art the Clown, Damien Leone's. I was digging up all their lore, you know what I mean? I guess it's technically Art the Clown's first appearance. There is the Ninth Circle, but that's like a 9-minute thing. And I guess the Ninth Circle is in All Hallows Eve. I didn't watch the Ninth Circle, but I did watch All Hallows Eve. Once again, my friend recommended me to watch this, so I saved it for later. I figured I would enjoy All Hallows Eve more after I watched all the Terrifier movies, and I was correct. So we watched this, also because I wanted to see more of Art the Clown, and I actually really liked this. I was very surprised to see how poorly rated this was. I don't know, I don't get it. I really like this. Like, I know it really has like a student filmmaking type of vibe to it, like a really homemade vibe, really low budgety. But like, I don't know, I feel like that's part of the charm that it has to it, part of the... Oh my god, someone was going down the stairs. I feel like that's part of like its charm, you know? Like, yeah, the production quality is low, but like this film is just full of heart, you know, and genuine love for horror. Like, you could feel it, you could see it. Like I'm telling you, man, this man Damien Leone, he's the real deal. He be cooking. And also, given that it's his first feature film, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Once again, like the whole Ring thing with me, cursed TV tapes have and will always get to me. And this one revolves around, you know, this little kid discovering this TV tape in his bag. He plays it. And then that's when shit starts going down. So yeah, I really enjoyed the concept. I enjoyed basically every little short film you watch from the TV tape. Besides like the third one with like the alien in the house. That was the only one I wasn't really feeling it. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, by the end of this, I was just really on edge. Like, it was genuinely really creeping me out. The way basically everything from the TV tape started kind of spilling its way into the real world. It gave me so much eeriness, so much chills. You know, like the little girl with the closet. And then the babysitter thinking she saw something from the side, and then she goes up to like check on the kid. She's like, all right, who's spying on me? And they're like, what are you talking about? Maybe if you were stopped checking up on us, we would be able to get some sleep. Knowing that she hasn't been checking up on them. So then she's on high alert. And oh my god, it gives me so much fucking chills. Like, that would be so terrifying to be in that situation. And then of course it all comes down to when she's watching the tape again for some reason, and then Art the Clown kind of starts breaking the fourth wall, and then she's in the TV tape, and dude, that part was like, I was like, oh my god, this is fucking intense. Ironically enough, I was actually pretty scared by the end of this. Like, I just felt really uncomfortable, especially with that post-credit scene with Art the Clown with the fourth wall breaking. I didn't watch that. I did not watch that. I am not risking anything, buddy. And then also Art the Clown, he's not played by David Howard Thornton in this, so like it gives it also more of this eerie feeling for Art, because we're familiar with David's take on it. But then when you're watching someone else playing Art that's not him, I don't know, it makes me feel some kind of way. But yeah, I really like this. I loved it, especially just from a low budget production quality. Like, seeing where it all began. A lot of the Damien Leone's work this month has really inspired me, you know? Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna be a film director or anything. You know, we're still figuring those things out, but seeing his journey, and from, you know, the Ninth Circle to Terrifier 3, beating Joker 2, you know, like, this stuff is really inspiring to me, and it's been really nice watching all this, seeing where it all started, and I loved it, man. Damien Leone stays cooking. I'm a fan. But with all that being said, I gave All Hallows Eve 4 stars, man. I love this. This was really good. And I gave it a heart, so I'm putting All Hallows Eve in A tier, bro. I don't care what y'all say. That bitch is going in A tier. All right, October 27th, we watched Late Night with the Devil. This is one of my most anticipated watches of the month. I knew I was gonna watch it at some point in the month. I've been wanting to watch this like the whole year. It just hasn't been available on any streaming service I own. I ended up renting it, which hurt my feelings, because later on I found out they use AI in this, and We don't fuck with AI here, brother. Not in that sense. Not in that sense. Not when humans could do that work. All right, we don't fuck with that. But Late Night with the Devil. I don't know. I'm conflicted on it because I'm not too sure what to make of it. I thought it'd be scarier. I will say that. I thought it was gonna be more like Exorcist-y, but I don't know. I'm not really too sure what to make of it. Like I like the whole talk show aspect of it. I liked how it's presented, and it feels kind of like SNL in a way. It feels like you're watching maybe a documentary. I enjoyed that, but I just I don't know, it just felt kind of flat to me. I feel like the ideas were there to make this great and, you know, make it very terrifying and stuff, but like I don't feel like it was maximized to its potential. It was more of like a horror comedy, honestly. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying it felt kind of like a horror comedy given it was like a talk show. That voice crack. It just felt flat to me, you know, especially that ending. That ending, I'm like, all right, buddy, like, okay. You know, the main actor, David, I don't know how to say his last name, but he had a good performance. Everybody basically had a good performance. I don't mean this with disrespect, but that little girl was cast really well because she really does have a scary, spooky, she's gonna turn demonic type of vibe, at least the way she was portrayed in this film. But yeah, Late Night with the Devil, you know, kind of underwhelming, unfortunately. I gave it 3 stars. No heart. I'm gonna have to put this one in the C tier, guys. Sorry, Late Night. Alright, October 29th for the second time. This one intentionally because I wanted to. Broke my strictly horror rule. We watched Live in a Time. Woo-hoo-hoo. This was definitely by far my favorite watch of the month. And it was also just nice to get a break from horror. Because before this, like I'm telling you, I'm just watching strictly horror, strictly on edge, strictly anxious. And to finally just watch something that's not horror, that I could let my guard down and just chill and watch. It was amazing. I must add for some context. The day before this, I was down horrendously. I was in my feels. I was like espresso depresso. I was very much down bad the day before this. So I feel like I was meant to watch this the next day. Like it was just written in the stars. I don't know. I also feel this way because when watching it, you see the date June 5th a lot. That's my birthday. I don't know. I just felt like I was destined to watch this. But yeah, we live in a time, man. These are the kind of films that just remind me what life's all about. You know, it's a beautiful, very beautiful, heartbreaking, heartfelt story. 2 outstanding performances by 2 outstanding actors. Their chemistry was phenomenal in this. I still can't say that word. You know, the message of the film with like the emphasis on time. They say the word time a lot in the movie, and I noticed that. The emphasis on time and just how valuable it is and how we spend it. The relationship part of it, 2 imperfect people being perfect for each other, working things out. And it was just beautiful to watch. This was very much a therapeutic experience for me. I cried, I shit you not. I probably teared up like every 10 minutes or so. I have never cried this much in the cinemas before. It was just me and one other person. They were like all the way up there, and every now and then I'd hear like a and I was like, me too, bro, me too. And it's also like very kind of funny at times. It has some comedy to it, but mostly it's just a really heartfelt, just beautiful film. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm really glad I watched this. I'm very much glad I watched this. We live in a time. 4.5 stars. I wanted to give it 5 stars, but the ending felt a little abrupt to me. That was just my thing with it, really. Just at the ending, it felt a little abrupt with me. I'm like, oh, wow. Because I think it basically is confirmed that the mom ended up passing away, which, my heart. But, like, I kind of, in a way, do like the way they did it, because it finished with them ice skating, and then you have a shot of her, and then she fades into the next scene, which I'm assuming is implying that she did indeed pass. Because then the dad teaches her how to crack an egg, like she taught him how to crack an egg. Cinema. I'm putting it in S tier. We Live in Time is going in S tier, bro. This is definitely an all-timer for me. One of my favorite of the whole year. S tier. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And to top it off, on Halloween night, October 31st, what the whole month has led up to, what everything in my life has prepared me for, I watched The Ring. I'm gonna hate having to download this picture. The Ring, all right, man. You guys need to understand this. For me, The Ring has been the bane of my existence. I've been afraid of this since I was a child. I've been afraid of the physical cover of it. I hated touching it. I hated seeing it. I was terrified of it. The lore behind it. You watch this shit, you get clapped. I hated it. I hated it. It was terrifying to me. The Ring Girl was terrifying to me. It's the very reason why TV static to this day makes me uncomfortable. The Ring has done irreversible damage to my psyche, and I finally decided to watch it in my full adult form, October 31st. I was gonna watch it with my siblings, but I decided I had to watch this alone. This was something I had to do alone, and I did do it alone, in the dark. And I have to say, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I don't mean this as disrespect to the movie. I was just surprised I wasn't shitting myself the whole time. Cause like I'm telling you, I've just been irrationally afraid of even coming near this since I was a kid. The last time I watched anything, about it was in 2022 when I dropped a present at my sister's home, and she was watching like this kind of 10-minute clip that happens before the movie itself. We watched that together, and I basically shit myself. So yeah, I avoided this forever, but I finally decided to step the fuck up and watch it. And it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It's not even like that scary, actually. Like, you see The Ring in it, maybe 2 minutes max. Probably less. She's probably in it less than that. Oh my god. It's my fridge, bro. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I feel free now. It's more just a really good mystery movie solving this kind of case of what's been going down, how it's been going down, trying to track down this tape, figure out what the fuck's going on. It's a really good movie in that sense. The characters in this are really likable. Rachel, she's a dog. I didn't know this was played by Naomi Watts. I didn't know this was her. Her mans and Noah, he was cool in this too. Oh, Brian Cox. I didn't know Brian Cox was in this. See, it's cool because now I know actors and shit. And I saw him, I'm like, that's Brian Cox. I hate that little kid though. That little kid makes me really uncomfortable and annoys me. He watched the tape because he couldn't sleep. Like, what is that supposed to mean? What do you mean by that? And he keeps calling his mom Rachel. Why the fuck does he do this? I must say though, this color grading fucking rocks. I fell in love with this color grading. It's so yummy. It really works in this particular film. And I wish I'd see more films with just more kind of far-fetched color grading, if that makes sense. I feel like we're all kind of stuck with the same color palette right now. So basically, I'm free now. I feel like I could watch anything now. You know what I mean? I feel like nothing could hurt me anymore. Long-term wise, all I have to do now is watch The Ring 2, which I'm not doing this year, but we'll do that at some point. But yeah, The Ring, I gotta give it 5 stars. No complaints. This is an all-time classic for me, all-time horror. One of the best of all time. So easy 5 stars, all hearts, and The Ring is going in S tier. But I'm just so happy I finally conquered this. All right, that was it. I watched a lot of fucking movies this month. I watched a lot of them. So I do apologize if I kind of, my little reviews were a little maybe sped up, or I didn't go too in depth into things. I watched a lot, so it's kind of hard to remember. And although I do write things down and like I reread my Letterboxd reviews to kind of refresh myself, it is really hard to remember everything I would like to say. But that basically sums up my thoughts on everything I watched this month. I will say this, I'm glad I can finally take a break from horror because watching horror strictly for a month, it gets to you a little bit, I want to watch different things, and that's why we live in a time what's so nice to watch. I can officially say I really love horror now. Not that I didn't before, but now like I had this newfound acquired love for horror, and also for Halloween season in general. I wasn't a big Halloween guy before this year, and I'm gonna miss this season. Halloween spooky season is a vibe, man. I'm gonna miss it. But yeah, with that being said, man, that's what I watched this month. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for listening to me yap. And yeah, leave down what you watched this month. Maybe your spooky movies you watched. And until the next video, peace out, players.